There has been much talk of government's new financial information system designed specifically for Niue. The system is a long overdue upgrade that will enable efficiency and a more centralized management of government's financial information. A meeting was held today with heads of departments and financial controllers for a briefing on what this new system will mean for Niue and what to expect. A trainer from Enabling, the firm that designed the software, is on the island with a project business analyst consultant to provide a brief overview of the system and highlight some of its benefits.
Well, this new information system is a replacement for the very aging one that you had, which was running on what we call DOS. Now, what that means is it's very old and clunky, and it doesn't use any of the nice things you get with Microsoft Office, those kind of things. So it looks and feels like a book. It was perfectly functional up till a while ago, but it's starting to not be trustworthy because it is very old. It's 20 years old. The new system is something called Green Tree, and it's actually produced by the same crowd who wrote CVA. So it's very functionally rich. What that means is it can do an awful lot if you want it to. Now, what we're doing now is just installing the core, what we call the core central parts. Most importantly for people, debtors, how customers get their statements and invoices, so how they're processed. One of the things we have in Niue is that people have different accounts for power, for customs, for all sorts of different things, bulk energy, all those sorts of things. Well, what this will allow to happen for customers is that they can have one statement with all their different types of debtors on it. Now that will evolve. Not everything's on it to begin with. For instance, what we've put on now are some of those obvious ones like course fees, customs, taxes, those sorts of things. So it hasn't got power on yet, but that's all possible with it. But we're just replacing the old system, which is ready to fail, with a new one that's a lot faster, a lot easier to use, makes life easier both for the staff here and will make it easier for customers as well. And we've gone live yesterday, so we're using the new system. We're not using the old system anymore. Just replaces the general ledger, which is where the financial information is kept. It replaces the customer parts being replaced, so that's replaced the old CBA customers, and also how we manage suppliers, people we owe money to. So that's the first phase, and we're just finishing that now. The second phase, which will happen in a month or two, is just putting in some things that will benefit staff in particular around payroll, so a new payroll system so that staff can be paid more accurately and more quickly, all those sorts of things. Also how we manage our assets, such as this building, that will also go in there as well. And also inventory, so how we manage stock for bulk fuel, so we can account for it, we can forecast what we need, kind of useful things like that. And maybe the bond store will go in there as well. That's the next phase. That's all been funded by NZFAT or NZ I'm never quite sure which one. So that's funded and has been brought and paid for. Now what's future possible ones is that haven't been funded but are on the cards are what I mentioned about bringing in things like Niue Power, those debtors systems into here. Also what we call around job costing, which makes us managing our infrastructure things when we need to build something or manage our infrastructure, such as Niue Works Department, their kind of activities, we can manage them much more closely, so make them manage the costs and manage the time frame so things can be done quicker, more cost effectively. That's in future phases that they're wanting to do when they can get funding for it.
As exciting as this may all be, there was some uncertainty from those present as to how secure and accessible information on the system will be.
There's two aspects to security. One, security of the actual physical system, and that's all being dealt with, and it's going into where most of the other pieces of kit arrive. I can't remember the name. I can't remember, but it's all air-conditioned, physical security, backup systems, all those kind of things. But what you're more interested in is about people within government who have access to the system. What can they get to? Well, within this Green Tree, it has a very sophisticated security manager where you can actually say who can access what, even down to saying that this person can only see this bunch of suppliers or this bunch of customers. And certainly around payroll, it has very strict controls around who can see what. And it's all tracked. So as people try and bypass that, it'll be logged and noticed and monitored. So it allows for good control around people's personal information security.
Installation and set up the system is almost complete, with testing going on at the moment. The second phase of the project is expected in September or October.